What about the settlements? What about the behavior of the settlers now, continuous, daily? What about the dispossession, their land, their rights, their dignity, their men, their women, their children? Are these of no concern? Where have we thrown our humanity? Why this hypocrisy? Why this selective and ambivalent attitude towards one race and one another? Is it because they are colored or they are different religion? But what I reject strongly is this narrative, this obsession, as if the entire problem begins and ends with the 7th of October. It did not begin with the 7th of October. We cannot erase 40 years of atrocities and dispossession, and which have resulted in reaction and anger.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Your government supports Hamas and has, unlike Western countries, not classified the attack on Israel on October 7 as a terrorist attack. You yourself said in November that Hamas is not a terror organization. Do you stick to this assessment, and don't you fear that this position on Hamas can damage the relations to countries like Germany?
Well, thank you. Our foreign policy position is consistent. We do not support or we oppose colonialism or apartheid or ethnic cleansing or dispossession of any country, be it Ukraine or in Gaza. We cannot erase 40 years of atrocities and dispossession, and which have resulted in reaction and anger from the societies or the people concerned. Now, our relations with Hamas is the political wing of Hamas, and I make no apologies about it. And that engagement has helped at least to bring about the concerns, including about hostages. We do not have any connection with any military outfit or wing. I've clarified this to many of my European colleagues in the United States and many countries. Although we may have some differences, but as we have recognized the Australian National Congress long before the Europeans or the Americans do recognize, because we believe that the apartheid policy must be opposed. So consistent with that policy, we have taken that position that we must understand the fundamental root cause of the problem, that people, their houses, their belongings, their dignity cannot be plundered, and if we can resolve, they will resolve it. Do I then condone killings of children and women? No, I don't, by any party, by any quarters. And that is consistent policy. But what I reject strongly is this narrative, this obsession, as if the entire problem begins and ends with the 7th of October. It did not begin with the 7th of October, and did not end with 7th of October. It began 4 decades before that, and it is continuing daily. But having said that, my conclusion, as I've said to Chancellor, is this: we move on. We have a problem right now. Do we discuss history? We discuss past atrocities? Or discuss how to resolve the problem now? The problem now means cessation of hostilities, stop the killings now, and then the entire international community, Germany, Malaysia, and the neighbors, make sure that there's no more violence perpetrated by any group against the Muslims or Jews or Christians. They must be allowed to live in peace.
Good evening, Excellencies. My name is Haliza from TV3 Malaysia. You both mentioned about situation in Gaza, both mentioned about moving forward and two-state solution, but just how much influence this meeting can push for immediate humanitarian ceasefire? What next after this meeting?
Well, Germany is an important country. Europe has established good relations with Israel, and we have slightly better relations with Palestine. the Palestinian Authority and even the political wing of Hamas. Of course, it's our duty, and of course with the other countries, United States and Arab countries neighboring Palestine and Israel, to do the utmost. We will have to be more positive in this direction. Situation, of course, is chaotic, is uncertain, I admit. I don't think it's an easy resolution. It's not only a tough stance of the Palestinian fighters who have been who suffered immensely, but also a very tough stance by the Netanyahu government. So we will have to endure this exercise because there's no other solution to stop the killing of innocent civilians on both sides. The only solution for now is a permanent ceasefire and an ultimate solution of a two-state solution. And this can be done if the international community have the courage and the commitment. I have said that sometimes we feel highly, depressing when you realize there's somewhat like a moral abandonment of this case because there's not a quick resolve, full commitment, a consistent one by all countries just to stop, the war and find a solution. I'm sure the international community still have the edge, which means both in the Middle East, Middle Eastern countries, and Europe, United States, and the international community.
Prime Minister, you are suggesting to leave history behind, but for the Israeli hostages, it's October the 7th is still the present, and for their relatives as well. So based on the conversations you're having with the political leadership of Hamas, what is the nature of your talks? And how hopeful are you that they will be released soon? Also, could you please tell us whether you see what happened on October 7th and the fact that these hostages are still being held as an act of terrorism?
Thank you. I've said, I've stated my case that atrocities for decades cannot be erased. You cannot find a solution by getting so one-sided in terms of looking only at one particular issue and erase 60 years of atrocities. The solution is not just releasing the hostages. I agree with release hostages, but that's not the solution. We are a small player. I don't have this excellent relations with Hamas, but I do. And I have told the Chancellor, yes, I did express my concern that the hostages must be released. But then, can you say, is that all, full stop, period? What about the settlements? What about the behavior of the settlers now, continuous, daily? What about the dispossession, their land, their rights, their dignity, their men, their women, their children? Are these of no concern? Where have we thrown our humanity? Why this hypocrisy? Why this selective and ambivalent attitude towards one race and one another? Is it because they are colored or they are different religion? These questions are raised because there's a lack of consistency. If you ask me, yes, the solution, yes, two-state solution. Yes, recognize the rights of every single individual, be it a Muslim or a Jew or Christian. I make no means about it. But I, of course, cannot accept the fact that when you discuss issues, we only confine to one particular incident and one victim, forgetting the thousands and thousands of victims from the Nakba of 1947, 1948. Where is history irrelevant? Is humanity irrelevant? Is compassion irrelevant? I mean, that's my contention. Do I then support any form of atrocity against anybody? No. Do I believe the hostages should be kept? No. But to use the narrative only in one particular issue is not going to be a solution. You may satisfy some pockets of Muslims or Christians or Germans or Malaysians, but there's not and will not be able to resolve unless we are seen to be just and find an amicable resolution that is fair and just. Thank you.